Hi, and welcome to Healthy Inspirations. I'm your host, Lindsey Smith. Today we have two amazing guests lined up for you. One is my friend and fellow coach, Janelle Buchheit. Janelle will be sharing some tools and tips about coaching kids for success. Janelle is a licensed school counselor and a life coach for both kids and adults. She has a lot of great insights, and we'll hear from her shortly. Our first guest is Lani, Lazzari, CEO and president of Simple Sugars, which is a natural skincare line based in Pittsburgh. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, I'm excited. So tell me, I know you brought some of your products, and I'm really excited to try them out, but tell me a little bit about Simple Sugars and what it means to you and how you got started, all that fun stuff.
Okay. Well, Simple Sugars is my company. It's an all-natural skincare line. We make specifically body scrubs, facial scrubs, and a foot scrub. They're all sugar-based and completely all-natural. I started Simple Sugars when I was 11 years old because I have really ridiculously sensitive skin.
Well, your skin looks great now, so
thank you.
So it's doing something for you.
Thank you so much. But I had horrible eczema ever since I was a baby, and I couldn't find a single product that I could safely use on my very sensitive skin. So I got really frustrated and decided to do some research and start making my own products. So that's what I did, and I started using them on myself. Then around the same time, I watched my mom go through a bad experience with her job in the corporate world, and that inspired me to want to become an entrepreneur. So
Awesome.
I decided that Simple Sugars was the perfect opportunity for me to start a business, and the rest is history.
That is awesome.
Thank
So
you.
not only you do it for the natural skincare line, but also the business side.
Yes,
So,
definitely.
awesome. So tell me about some of your products. What are some of the ingredients? I know we kind of had this discussion before, and I'm totally against sugar.
Yes.
And actually that's what the last segment was all about sugar. But
Yeah.
sugar in the natural form doesn't actually absorb into your skin, correct?
Exactly. So you don't have to worry about, getting a sugar high from using these products in the shower. Basically what they are is they're an exfoliant. For anyone who's never used an exfoliant before, it is a grainy product, and that removes all of your dead skin cells, so that's what the sugar does. And then there's also a mixture of all different all-natural oils in there. So as you remove the dead skin cells, you moisturize the skin underneath. So it's a way to moisturize your skin that's much more effective than using a lotion.
Yeah.
And there-
okay.
Yes, because when you use a lotion, there's a barrier of dead skin cells that naturally sits on top of your skin. So when you use a lotion, it's a water-based product, and you're applying it on top of that barrier. So all of the moisture just evaporates right back out again. And that's why you have that kind of lotion-y feeling on your hands after you use it.
Yeah,
and that's
I hate
also
that.
and that's also why you have to put on a lotion so many times before you feel like it actually works.
Okay.
So when you exfoliate, you kind of eliminate the need for a lotion in a way that's much more effective and much better for your skin.
Gotcha. Now, can you use these products on just your hands? You said you have a foot scrub. Like, where can
Yeah,
you
well,
use-
the line consists of 5 facial scrubs.
Okay.
They're the finest and the most gentle, which is obviously what you need for your face.
Mm-hmm.
They're also all formulated to be for a specific skin type.
Oh,
So the avocado is really good for super dry skin. And then on the other end, the green tea with tea tree is good for oily skin. And then we have a cucumber, a coffee, and a green tea that fall in the middle. Then there are 16 to 24 different body scrubs, depending on the season.
Ooh.
A lot of them are seasonal, so they'll
Yes.
transition in and
So
out
you
throughout
had
the year.
Did you have a pumpkin one?
Yeah, we just
Okay,
had a pumpkin
yeah.
one for October. Now our 3 holiday scents are gingerbread, cranberry, and sugar and spice, which is the one you're going to try
Yes,
at
I'm
the end
excited.
here. Yeah, and then we also have a foot scrub as well, which is the most coarse and the most heavy duty of a moisturizer, which is what you need for your feet. And then in addition, we also have a men's line that's called
Yes, and you
Smooth for
told
Men.
me a little bit about that. So how are men reacting to the scrubs?
The men are very interesting to market a skincare product too. It has definitely a bigger education component because a lot of guys aren't as aware as women about products and about what they're putting on their skin, and most guys don't even know what a scrub is. But once you can educate them a little bit and convince them to try it out, they really like it because it's super easy. It's a one-step product, which really appeals to guys. And the way the whole men's line came about was actually because we had a bunch of guys who were using the regular Simple Sugars products,
so
and they
funny.
absolutely loved them, but they were so embarrassed by the pink packaging, and they would hide it in their showers.
So is
and
it blue packaging now?
It's green.
Green,
now.
okay.
Green with black lids, so it's
Okay.
much more masculine, has a very different look, but it's the same products.
Awesome. So what would you say for someone that's just trying out one of these skincare products? Like, why the natural route? Why not the over-the-counter things that we see every day?
Well, exactly. A lot of people aren't aware that there are some pretty harsh chemicals in their skincare products. There are chemicals that are available in most products in the United States that have been banned in other countries, ingredients that have been linked to things like breast cancer, hormone disruption. So it's some pretty serious things. And a lot of people don't even realize they're there. And it's really important to educate yourself about it and to be aware of what you're putting on your skin, because your skin is your largest organ.
Yes.
So anything you put on your skin gets absorbed into your bloodstream almost the same as if you were eating it. So my personal motto is, if you can't eat it, you shouldn't put it on your skin in the first place.
Yeah. Can you eat sugar scopes?
Yes, you can eat them if you really want to, even though I'm sure you would frown upon that, because nothing but sugar and oil is pretty much the worst thing you could eat. But you could, technically.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
As you know, as a health coach, I'm really into what we put in our body, and I think chemicals, they're in everything.
Yes.
I mean, we're bombarded with yellow number 5, yellow 5 and red 40 and this dye and that, and that's one thing that I really, really love about your products, is because you can stand behind it.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
You can eat it
Yeah,
too.
definitely. I mean, they're all colored. It's the same way with skincare products. The same way that we know there are all of these artificial things in processed foods, it's the same with skincare products as well. And these are completely all natural. All the colors come from the real whatever it is. So the cranberry is red because it has actual cranberries in it. And same thing with the scents. And that's something that's really important, especially in the industry. Scents are one of the biggest things that are chemically produced and that are the most irritating to people with sensitive skin, and that have some of the most serious chemicals in them.
Yeah. And I had a chance to talk with you at a networking event last week, was it?
Yes.
And one thing that you said to me that really stuck out was, a lot of people get irritated skin and then they want to put another product on it to kind of
remove it. Whenever you get a breakout or something like that, generally your first instinct is, oh my gosh, I better go out and buy a product to take away this breakout. But really what you should be doing is reducing the number of products you're already using, because generally what happens is people don't actually have sensitive skin. They're just reacting to a product that has all of these harsh chemicals in it, and they just think they have sensitive skin.
Yeah.
But really they have normal skin, and it's just that these chemicals shouldn't be in the products in the first place. So my advice to people when something strange starts happening with their skin is to first of all think about any new products they just started using, and if they just started using something, stop using it. And then secondly, to try using only water on your skin for a week and see if it goes away. And if it does, then you know it was definitely from one of the products you were using.
I actually took that tip that you gave me,
Yeah.
only using water, and it actually made a huge difference. I realized that one of the astringents I was using was
It definitely works. And it's the same thing with a lot of companies that try to sell you like a multi-step process. Most of those steps aren't necessary, because the way those work is the first step will take something away from your skin, so you need the second step to put it back, and then the third step will again take something away, so you need another step to put it back. And because of the way that works, it's really unnecessary for your skin, and it's really hard on your skin too. So it's always best to simplify your routine and make sure you're using things that are simple and that have ingredients that directly benefit your skin.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, real quick, do you know how many chemicals are found in the average woman? I forget what it is, what the average woman puts on.
In a day?
Yeah.
I think it's 21.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure it's 21 chemicals. 21 different chemicals in the woman's average beauty care product. And they're in everything, from lotion to shampoo to foundation, exactly.
Eyeliner,
exactly.
all that stuff.
Everything. Perfume, one of the biggest offenders. And toothpaste, everything. So it's really important to read your labels and think about what's in there. But it's hard at the same time too, because I know when you walk into a store and pick up your shampoo and try to read the label, it pretty much seems like you're reading a foreign language, because there's so much ridiculous stuff in there. But there are several things you can be careful to watch out for that'll help a lot. The 4 biggest ones that I like to watch out for are parabens, PEGs, phthalates, and sodium lauryl sulfate.
Okay.
So parabens and PEGs are both preservatives.
Okay.
And they're found in almost all lotions, because lotions are water-based. And then they're also found most commonly in shampoos, conditioners, all that kind of fun stuff. And they'll come listed with a prefix, the parabens with prefix on them. So it'll be like methylparaben, ethylparaben, butylparaben. The PEGs will come with a number after them. So it'll be like
I've seen that before,
PEG-10.
now that I'm thinking about it.
And both of those have been linked to causing cancer. So it's pretty serious. And it's not the kind of thing that if you use it one time, you're going to die. But it's the kind of thing that if you think about how many, how many times have you shampooed your hair from the time you're born until the time you're 30?
Yeah.
And then it's when it starts to have an effect. Phthalates are in scents. They're the chemicals that make a scent stay with you throughout the day. And they've been linked to hormone disruptions, so it's really important to watch out for those. And those can kind of hide sometimes too. A lot of perfumes will just list fragrance on their label.
I've seen that so many times.
It's because it's considered a trade secret to the perfume to not have to list every ingredient that's in their fragrance, and that's where they hide a lot of the time.
Now, do you list everything on your...
Yes, and all of our fragrances are naturally derived from botanicals, fruits, or they're an essential oil, which means it comes from... and they make essential oils by using pressure or extreme cold or heat to actually press an oil from an actual ingredient. So like the cranberry uses cranberry essential oil, which is derived directly from a real cranberry, and there's no artificial scent in there.
Yeah. Well, I could talk to you for hours, as you know, because I love health and nutrition and all of everything that you do. I know I was a huge fan when I first met you. You're so inspiring for being so young and living your passion. It's truly amazing to see. But I would love to get to maybe demoing and testing one of these products.
That sounds great.
Here. So tell me
I have the sugar and spice scrub here.
That's the one that I wanted.
Which is one of our features for the holiday. Yeah, have a smell. Yes, and this is the body scrub, which you can also use on your hands.
Okay.
So you're just going to take your hands and put them out like this. I'm going to give this a quick stir. I'm going to give you a little bit of water to wet your skin.
Oh, it's warm too. Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. For not making it.
And then I'll give you a little bit of scrub here.
Okay.
So now you're just going to rub it around like soap.
Okay.
So you can pretend like you're at home in the shower, using it on your whole body. The whole room smells like delicious sugar and spice.
So this is the whole exfoliation. This is what's happening right now. So this is taking off all of the dead skin.
Exactly, and that's the grainy part that you feel.
Okay.
And sugar is also gentle enough of an exfoliant that you can use it every day, even if you have sensitive skin.
Why sugar? Because I know there's some salt scrubs, correct?
I personally think salt is counterintuitive because the whole idea of using a scrub like this is to moisturize your skin. Okay. And salt naturally draws moisture away from your skin. Also, salt can burn if you have sensitive skin or if you have a breakout or eczema, for example, which is kind of like a red rash that you get. So salt burns when you put it on things that, and sugar doesn't.
I never thought about it like that.
So sugar is pretty much the most natural, the most gentle exfoliant you can get. So now I'm just going to rinse you off here.
Awesome.
And you can feel how smooth you're going to be.
I know. I love your motto, stay smooth.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. This is awesome.
Let me know when it feels like all the sugar's rinsed off.
I think we are good.
Great. Here's a towel.
All right.
So you're just going to dry them off.
Okay. Look at that. It's amazing. Feel how soft.
Yep.
I love it. Well, Lani, thank you so much. This was awesome. I cannot wait to give these as gifts for Christmas. I know actually you're doing a Small Business Saturday?
Yeah, this week on Saturday, which is November 24th, we're having a Small Business Saturday private shopping event at our headquarters in Sharpsburg. You can also buy the products online all the time, not just on Small Business Saturday. Okay. Our website is www.simplesugarscrub.com.
Simplesugarscrub.com.
Yes, and then you can also get them in 16 local Giant Eagle stores as well, including the Donaldson's Crossroads store and the Bethel Park store.
Okay, very close.
Yeah.
So good. Well, thanks again for coming on today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And we are just wrapped up with Lani, and we will be back shortly with Janelle Buchheit. Thank you.
What's it like when you hear your calling? Will you remember where you were? Will you ignore it? listen? What if it calls you to go halfway around the world? To share your skills? To serve people you've never met? To do things you never thought you could? Peace Corps. Life is calling. How far will you go?
There are some things in life you can control, and this booklet can help. From keeping your family healthy to saving for retirement. Order your free copy now from the American Diabetes Association, because we want everyone to be healthy and happy.
Dinner makes a difference. Learn more at casafamilyday.org.
Hello and welcome back to Healthy Inspirations. We just had Lani Lazzari on with Simple Sugar Scrubs. She was awesome. My hands are definitely smooth and I can't wait to try out more of her products. And now we have my friend and fellow coach, Janelle Buchheit. Janelle, thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me, Lindsay. I'm happy to be here.
Yay, I'm so excited. I know we go way back. We actually met on Facebook, believe it or not, and became friends instantly because of a lot of our similarities. So why don't you tell me a little bit about your work as a coach? I know that you have a background in school counseling as well as life coaching. So tell me how that kind of plays with one another.
Right. So I've been a school counselor for the past 8 years, and I decided to make the progression into life coaching. And when I look back at my life, there are a couple experiences that really stand out that made me want to work with kids and help them. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that happened with me is that as a young adult, I wasn't very confident, and I didn't really have the love for myself that you should. Mm-hmm. And I think that I was lacking a lot of life skills. So when I started college, I was ill-prepared for things that life would throw at me, mm-hmm. and also had no coping skills when it came to dealing with stress. And so part of my mission as a life coach is to help kids have those skills before they reach high school, before they reach college, so mm-hmm. that they're really prepared. And another thing that really stands out for me was the lack of career exploration in high school. And when I got to college, I made a lot of bad choices in regards to careers and the direction I should take, because I wasn't given the opportunity to really explore what my interests were. Mm-hmm. And more importantly than that, I wasn't given the opportunity to explore who I was. Yeah. So who was I? What were my strengths? What was I passionate about? These were questions that no one had ever asked mm-hmm. me. And as a coach, these are questions that I asked the students that I work with mm-hmm. to help them know who they are so that they make better choices.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I know in my own experience, I suffered from anxiety as a kid. I mean, I was hospitalized at age 11. It was a very, very traumatic, bad time for me. What do you see most kids dealing with now with the pressures of school and society and media? What's some of the biggest issues that you see kids dealing with on a day-to-day basis?
I think a lot of our kids are struggling with the pressures of life, mm-hmm. And a lot of times we see that showing up as depression and anxiety, and we also have kids dealing with a lot of bullying. Mm-hmm. And so, like I said before, you know, the self-love and the self-confidence and teaching coping skills mm-hmm. are really things that our kids need.
Mm-hmm. And I know we've talked about this before, but one of the things that I see is also overachievers. It's not just people that, you know, we label as bad or they're a bad kid. I think overachievers tend to be the ones that we kind of miss because they're out doing their thing And then a lot of overachievers are the ones that actually have these internal pressures, which can lead to anxiety and depression and things like that. Do you see that a lot?
This is a great point. And what I found as a school counselor is that a lot of the students that were referred to me were students who needed a lot of extra help. And so sometimes the students who are getting very good grades, who are very involved, and maybe are a little bit more quiet about their anxiety or depression or other struggles they're having, they kind of get overlooked. And that's the thing that I really love about coaching, is because coaching can be for everyone. It can be for your normal student, and what it does is helps that student get from A to B. So where are you right now, and where do you want to be?
Yeah, and I love that, because I think when we look at coaching, or we look at even counseling or therapy or things like that, we think, oh, we need to be at this really, really low point in our life in order to do that. And it doesn't have to be like that.
No, we can all benefit from some support. And coaching is great for that, because I can work with a student who's at an 8 and help them get to a 9, you know, or work with someone who they feel like everything in their life is perfect, but there's always room for growth. And that's what we're doing through life. We're growing, and we're learning from each experience that we have.
That's great. Who inspires you? Who inspires you to keep doing this work, really, and to, you know, who are some of your mentors or teachers in your own life?
Most interestingly is that when I was growing up, I did not necessarily have a mentor or a coach. And I think that was part of the puzzle that was missing. And so what I did was, every self-help book I could find, every motivational speaker that I could listen to, I did that. And I spent many years doing a lot of self-work and self-exploration.
I remember, I just have to say this, I remember we were on a kick for a while where it was the CDs in the car, or our iPods, and it would be speakers, you know, just trying to embrace that and take that in. I think that's great. Anyway, go ahead.
So I did a lot of self-learning and a lot of self-work. And I was very lucky that I fell into the books and fell into the speakers and writers that I had found. But I think for a lot of kids, wouldn't it be so much better if we could just teach them these skills in grade school, refine them in high school, and have them really prepared for college and for the real world?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah. So what are some tools, or what's even just one tool that you would use with working with a student, you know, and overcoming an obstacle or fears or whatever it may be?
Right. So I think it really depends on the student sitting in front of me. In individual coaching, the skills would be based upon what that student really needs at that time. For example, I may have a student that I'm working with that's in high school, and they're really unhappy about the circumstances in their life. So what we might do is start working on a gratitude journal together. So they start really to focus on what's going well in my life, and what do I have to be happy about. So that's one thing.
I love that, by the way.
Yeah.
Gratitude, and I know we talk about this, but gratitude is just one of those things that it seems silly at first.
It seems simple.
Because it's so simple.
Yeah.
You know, I remember the first time someone ever told me to start a gratitude journal, I was like, psh, please, you know, like what do I have to be grateful for, you know, because I was so in such a low place, and it seemed almost like I'd write, oh, you know, my friends, my family, like stuff that you normally just like everyday things, but then once you start digging into it, and even just over time, I think it just really develops, you just realize that there's so much to be grateful for that you don't have time to like sit there in a journal and write everything out.
Right,
you know?
right. And it shifts you. I had a student I can think of vividly, and she came in, and her first session was a lot of negativity. She didn't like the way things were going at home. She didn't like the way things were going at school. And the whole session was pretty much negative. I urged her to start a gratitude journal. And the very next time I saw her, she was a completely different student sitting in front of me.
That's amazing.
Because she had shifted into that positive state of mind.
Because when you're so negative, it just kind of takes you down all the time.
Yeah.
And just nothing's going to make anything go right.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So what would be a piece of advice that you would maybe give a parent working with a troubled child or a troubled teen, if you will?
Well, I don't have one specific bit of advice, because as we said, not one size fits all. And so,
which I love, by the way.
Yeah, it
Because
has to be an individualized approach. And so for that parent, what I would suggest is take a look at the troubles that you're having with your child. You know, is your child, are they having some anxiety? Are they fearful to sleep in their bed at night? Do you have a high school student who's lacking motivation and not wanting to do their homework? I mean, all kids have different struggles, but what we need to do as parents is find out, what are you struggling with and how can I support you? So what I suggest to parents, take deep breaths, take a lot if you need to, if you're feeling lots of trouble with your child, and really try to approach them in a way that's helpful and supportive. Think of how you would want to be approached if you were in that same situation, if you were struggling. Because basically what's happening is that student's struggling. The student who doesn't want to sleep in the bed on their own, there's something that they're struggling with, and probably that they have some fear or anxiety about something. The student who's not motivated in school, there's something that they're struggling with. And what that might be, we don't know. Maybe the work is too hard. Maybe they're apathetic about the classes that they're in, but we need to step up and support them. And if you're a parent and you're not able to reach your child, what I suggest is asking for help. You know, so whether it's getting a life coach for your child, getting a life coach for yourself so that coach can help you work through issues with your child, or calling the school counselor to see if they can help.
I think that's great. I think coaches are definitely needed at any stage. You know, like you said, I loved when you said if you're trying to get from an 8 to a 10 in any spectrum. So Janelle, we have to wrap up here, but I thank you so much for coming. Where can people find more information about you and your services?
So to find more information about New Heights Coaching, you can go to www.newheightscoaching.com, and there's a ton of information about what I do and my contact information. And then people can also join the conversation with us on Facebook at Coaching Kids for Life Success or at New Heights Coach on Twitter.
Awesome.
Thank
cool.
you.
Well, thank you so much, Janelle. I look forward to talking more with you about all this coaching business. And thank you.
Thanks for having me today.
So that wraps up our segment of Healthy Inspirations, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks so much.